Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Today we are going to do the update for my Pan That palette. Now it is December. Many projects are winding down. This is not one that is winding down for me. This one is seemingly just getting started. I have been struggling reaching for this palette previously. I would focus on it like the week after I film the update and like a couple weeks before I film the update, which led to a large portion, like a month of use that I wouldn't reach for my Subculture palette or my Pan That palette, whichever you prefer. I think that moving forward, I'm going to do monthly updates because, spoiler, we're not done. We're just getting started on this product. But I'm very happy to continue to be using this, and I'm excited to use it in conjunction with some new projects that I'm going to be starting next year, and I'm very excited about that. So, long story short, let me just back up now. So, if you're not familiar, Pan That palette, the project, the concept was started by Amber F. I'm going to have her link down below. She has been panning palettes for a long time. She's very lovely to watch. She's a very big inspiration for finishing products off. I'm going to have a couple other individuals listed down below who I have enjoyed watching them pan that palette. In particular, these two ladies come to mind, and that is Monica Adrienne. I will have her link below. She has been panning the Natasha Denona Lila palette, and she has done amazing. Like, highly recommend you checking her out. And then Sophia Alexandra, she has been panning naked palettes, and Urban Decay Naked Shadows are not my favorite formula, and part of it is because they're so densely packed that they just take 8,000 years to finish. So she's been panning that, and she's been super successful. So I highly recommend you checking out those two ladies. Again, you can search the hashtag Pan That palette, and I'm sure like hundreds of people will probably populate, especially if you do it on Instagram. You can get that sweet pan porn that we all know and love if you're into the Project Pan community. Enough rambling. Let me show you what we were looking like at the intro. Some serious and significant changes, and I think that this is because I switched how I was kind of using my eyeshadows, and stepping back in my pan those eyeshadows to focus in on just palettes as a whole, I think has helped me. So we're going to restructure how I do this project come next year. We'll talk about that at the very end of the video, but I want to kind of go shade by shade, and for that I am going to pull up and probably be glancing this direction to look at my progress shots. So I'm going to just start with the elephant in the room, which is this shadow number 3. So the two items with X's in were finished before I started panning this palette. So technically the palette was, every shadow had pan in it when I rolled it in or like started panning to completion this palette, but these two in particular were shades that I finished well before I started like tracking everything. So Cube and Electric were long gone before even thinking about panning this. Then we finished Adorn first, we finished What Were You, Dawn second, and now we finished Roxy. Now, and that is the total elephant in the room. However, I want to be very explicitly clear on this. This was not fully used up by me. Unfortunately, I used up a very large portion where I only had like one little nub of the eyeshadow left. Like I had a very thin sliver and was using it, and like I was on the fast track like to use it up like within like a very limited amount of uses. However, one morning I opened my eyeshadow palette up to do my makeup before I went to the office, and the shadow was no longer in there, and I'm looking around my desk and it's just like everywhere. It's everywhere. I have no idea how it even happened. I didn't like do this. I didn't shake the palette. I didn't bang it. I didn't drop it. Shadow just like decided to part ways with me. So there was a portion of this eyeshadow that I did not finish myself. However, I put the effort in, I put the work in. I am going to count it as I finished that organically, even if I did not finish it organically. It's fine. I got enough use out of it where I feel very content with what I did with this. That is the glaring obvious change in this palette. Now we'll kind of go row by row. So 𝙇𝙞𝙣 is a shadow where I really, day to day, I really have not been feeling like I've made a lot of progress on it. I'm like, oh man, it's kind of there to use it, but totally fine. I am fine with using that shadow like in spring, summer. Like that's a shadow that I'm very comfortable with that time of year. So I have no problem continuing to use it. I love those kind of olive tones. I love greens on my eyes, so I have no problem using that one. I was not thinking that I made a lot of progress, and I actually feel like I made it more teardrop shaped. I hope you can tell in the pictures of like the comparison shots. I'm happy with what I did with it. Now moving to All Star, I made leaps and bounds of progress with this, partly because I scrape out a little bit of shadow to use as a wing liner. So I've talked about doing that in the past. If you want to see like a tutorial on it, let me know. I can post it on my Instagram or like maybe a YouTube shorts. It's really not that challenging. All you do is scrape a tiny bit of product. You scrape it out and then you mix it. I mix it with my eye primer. So whichever one, I just have this one like right in front of me because I'm filming 3 project pan updates in a row. But I just mix it with whatever eye base I'm using or a glitter primer, and that creates a really nice gel-like consistency, and it stays on super, super long. Like I don't have to worry about it. If I'm rubbing my eyes, that comes off, but like I won't, like from daily, it's not going to like transfer or anything like that. So I really enjoy doing that. And it helps get use out of these darker shadows where I struggle reaching for them in a large capacity. I also had Why? I am all over the map right now. I will talk about my goals as we get to them. The first goal this month was to completely use up Roxy, which we did. Cool. Now we're caught up with my goals. There is that. So then we move over to Mercury, and I actually had a sub goal or like a target goal for hitting corner pan in Mercury. I wanted to clear off that top left corner, and we did. I'm so happy that we did. That didn't take that long. For Mercury, I don't love it as an eyeshadow. I will wear it when I'm wearing cool tone looks. However, the majority of the use that I get out of Mercury is either one in the very front portion, like I'm talking the very front portion of my brows, but most often I wear it as a contour. Again, wearing it today probably looks a little gray. It's fine. I don't care. It's fine. Axis, the next shadow, is a shade that I didn't really care if I finished or not. However, I am making so much progress with it. So last update, I started kind of scraping the top right corner just to like, I would scrape some out, mix it with my base, and create my liners. And I've really enjoyed doing it. And Axis initially wasn't a shadow that I wanted to finish, but now using it in that capacity, I do want to finish this whole palette off. Like I want to finish every shadow off. Again, it's not necessarily organic. I don't know why I'm going to show you when you see the pictures, but it's definitely not like organic pan. However, I am reaching for it in a way that I like to reach for it. So it's like, it's not organic. However, like this is how I like to wear it or how I like to use it. So like it is organic in a sense. We already talked about the next shade, which was Roxy, finished it. That was my goal. But the next shade after that is Fudge. And I feel like I'm like looking at it because it's really hard to tell if we made a difference in usage. I have used this shadow. I used it a decent amount of times. I think because I used it as a brow product and hit pan in a very specific corner, I'm going to just hold this up. So initially we had corner pan right there, and that was the pan that we had. In the project, we ended up being able to hit center pan, like that true traditional pan. And I've just been trying to like that gap where the pans are, like that little ledge of product. That's where I've been trying to focus my brush in now, trying to kind of bridge the two pans together to one larger pan. So I have not bridged the pans together clearly. But I am making good progress to it. I am wearing that shadow today in my eye look. I usually pair like the brown, orange, and yellow all together in like one look. That's just how I've been like liking to pair these together. Anyway, New Wave, however, I made such large strides in. My goal for this quarter was to actually hit the, I asked you guys if like what you would like to see, if you would like to see corner like side pans hit or like completely use Roxy up. A lot of you said completely use the shade up. A lot of you said more progress kind of things. I made the best of both worlds where I finished Roxy and we hit side pan, y'all. We hit that bottom pan. So I now have a much larger pan in New Wave and I'm freaking excited about it. I like this shadow in like this time of year, like November, like September through November. That was like the time for that one to shine. I have really fallen in love with wearing this kind of shadow with, it's right here in front of me because I used this palette today. The gold palette as well. I used a matte. I used this color in my look today. However, I really like pairing it with this shadow here, which is called Lime Chrome. It's very similar to Electric from Subculture, as well as I bought another Natasha Denona shadow, like one of her top coat pots that looks like Subculture Electric as well, and it's really made me want to reach for Subculture more. So if I wear something like that Electric kind of vibe, where it's like a terracotta, peachy kind of green shift, I want to wear that. Like, that's all I want to wear. So I have been getting a ton of use out of New Wave because of that, and I'm so happy about it. And it obviously looks so much more loved because of that. Moving on to the shade Untamed, not a shadow that I wanted to finish off. Like that, my stipulation for this was there's like 4 shadows that I really had no intention of panning or like finishing. And now since I use them as liners, I want to finish them off more so than I did previously. So Untamed, my goal for this month was, there was a portion of Untamed that was like cracked and fell apart. I just wanted to clear off the bottom portion where that, like the rest of it looked just like kind of icky from like crumbling away. And I ended up using the bottom portion of the pan. So we have a very large side pan now. Probably not structurally sound for Untamed to be that way. However, for what I use it for, like if it crumbles, it's not a big deal because I have these empty like containers that I can put the product in. And it's fine. It's fine. It would get the job done. So I will continue to use Untamed as a liner. I will continue to scrape product out and mix it with my bases, or like my eye primers, my bases, to create gel-like liners. Some people might call that cheating. It's a way that I'm going to use the product in a way that I enjoy to use the product. So I don't consider it cheating. Then the next shadow, another exciting one, was Edge, and my goal for this month was to hit side pan, and it might be hard to see in the progress pictures over there. However, I did hit side pan. It's very, very small. I definitely put more of my efforts on New Wave, but I'm going to show you because I want the proof there. When you see it, it's side pan. So I am very happy with what I did with Edge as well. Not as much progress as New Wave. Again, New Wave I just like with that shadow, that eyeshadow that looks like Electric. So I definitely focus in New Wave, and then I'll like blend everything out with Edge, which works very well. And I'm so excited about the progress that I made with it. Then Rowdy was a product that I wanted to clear the top left corner out, and very obviously I cleared that top left corner. And even more so, it wasn't until a couple days ago where I hit actually I hit the corner of this one too. So the corner on the very bottom is cleared out as well. It's a very small corner, but the corner is definitely cleared out. That whole left side of the pan is cleared out. It just looks like the pans look very odd shaped now, like where I dive into the product. So let me talk about what the future of this project entails. First, we're not going to do quarterly updates anymore. I have been struggling with reaching for the palette if I have too long of a break between updates. Meaning, about 2 weeks before I have to film an update, I'm like, oh crap, I need to use this palette because I haven't shown it love. And then the week after, I film my update is like a good week of use for this. And then it kind of fizzles out and it's very cyclical. Then like 2 weeks to the update, I'm like, oh no, I need to use this. And then I continue that uses for the next week after I film, but I don't want to continue to have that delay and have to like re-amplify myself or like reinvigorate myself to use this. So I figured the best course of action for me is just we have to update monthly. If I update monthly, this is fresh in my mind. It's something I have to talk about every month. And if I don't have progress, that's embarrassing for me because I love showing progress. So I am going to do monthly updates. So you should probably, you will be seeing an update in the near-ish end of January for my Pan That palette now, and around the same time every month. So what I would like to do for the next update is I want to get these pans in fudge. I want to connect them. I want to completely use that shadow that's in the way of both of them. I want to use it up and have like one large pan in fudge. I would also really like to see if I don't know what I want to do. Maybe I can get another corner in Mercury showing. I've been working on this bottom corner here, the bottom right-hand side. That's where I'm dipping my brush in now, so maybe I can focus in on that area and clear that corner off. Ooh, we're talking a month of update though. Maybe not. What can I do in a month? I think in a month I could bridge the pans in fudge. And then since I've been filming every 3 months, I feel like I'm going to set loftier goals. So maybe that's the only goal I want to set, and we'll just play it by ear in January, see how much progress I make, and then I can set goals based on a month of usage versus like my overly ambitious goals would be like, I'm going to finish off this bottom portion, but I'm like, I could do that in 3 months, but can I do it in 1 month? Probably not. Yeah, I just want to see where we can get this palette come January, the end of January now. So I'm excited with the progress that I made in it. Very clearly, there's a lot of pan showing, and I'm very happy with how this is looking. But that is it for my Pan That palette update. We are going to continue on panning this palette till it's done, or at least maybe by the end of next year, whatever comes first, and then this palette needs to say goodbye. That's going to be kind of my parting gift or parting caveat to this. So this palette is old. I want to finish it, but if we don't finish it, at least by the end of next year. So come December 2022, this palette will be exiting my collection either before or at whatever comes first. So I'm excited. I'm excited to continue to reach for my Subculture palette. This obviously has very staple, like deepening, grungy tones that I love, but I'm excited to integrate it with other shadows in my collection better than I did this year. I just bit off way too much projects this year, eyeshadow wise, and I'm excited to focus on this and have something else complement this. The main focus is going to be getting this bad bee out of my collection. That is my main goal. But that is it for my Pan That palette update. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until my next video, I hope you guys are staying healthy, sane, and safe. And I will catch you in my next video. Bye!